Woody, I don't know if you've watched the Lady Hulk show.
But,
no.
There's a whole show about it?
Yeah, it's a Marvel show. So like post credit, she's like twerking with her client, and it's just like, what is this show? Urban sent it to me earlier. It's like, this is the post credit scene from She-Hulk. What the fuck is the MCU doing? No, we can't watch it. It's literally MCU content off of their. I think it might be on their Twitter.
How is the show?
Credit shit. Why would I watch a show about a Lady Hulk lawyer?
It sounds retarded.
All right, I got the idea that you go.
I think the idea of a lady lawyer is ridiculous enough. Why does she have to, you're gonna make her green now? Bullshit.
A woman reading. Not on my watch.
Is the actress black?
Sounds
I
terrible.
can't tell because she's green.
She's white.
She's white. Yeah.
She's got a big Hulk ass though.
Yeah, she could twerk.
Yeah.
Man,
she's
this is unreal.
Okay.
She looks terrible.
Yeah.
These are the pictures of the final version. Just a woman colored green slightly.
She's
wearing like platform shoes.
There's a lot of
just
CGI.
A tall woman painted green.
Nah, you're looking at a ton of CGI. You just can't tell. Like, she's fucking huge. I haven't watched the show, but I just know.
No, I don't. I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it either. I won't say that I'm done with Marvel, but I saw a leaked like picture of their like Phase 6 plans, and I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. And here's what they're gonna do. Yes. I think that they're gonna try to bring back the real Tony Stark and the real Captain America at some point with all this multiverse shit. And that's going to be the death nail in this thing for me, is if they try to do that, if death doesn't matter anymore because of their bullshit multiverse nonsense. I'm just not that into it. And maybe I'm just like a fucking asshole. And I don't want to watch anything, but like, I don't want to watch The Lord of the Rings. I don't watch Game of Thrones either. I'm mad at them all.
Yeah, I know they're not going to do it. I mean, Lord of the Rings, I don't want to watch a show where it's just those writers making stuff up. Like, and it has no ties to the Silmarillion, no ties to the world.
Sure, am not watching a show where writers make things up. That sounds terrible.
Am not gonna. You're right. I'm not gonna write. I would want them to write it from the source material, like from the Silmarillion, like putting those words on into the story.
Kills me every time. Taylor's like, they didn't buy the rights to the Silmarillion. I've never heard of.
They didn't. It's very important. It's very important for backfilling all of
next
the
thing
lore.
You know, the guy's gonna have one horn instead of two, and it's just not loyal to the source material.
The Silmarillion.
These things don't matter at all.
It does. It does matter for a cohesive universe.
Just so you know, the Silmarillion reads like a phone book. Okay, it's like that part in the Bible where it's like, and then Shep begat Mep, who begat Tep, who begat Rep, who begat. You're like, holy fucking shit, dude! How high were you during this? Like,
dude, the Silmarillion,
opium or anything when he wrote that shit?
The Silmarillion is sincerely not a good read because it is a bibliography. A guy obsessed with the world he's created, being like, and here's another thing about the history of the elves, this and that, and this happened, and this guy did this, which helped trigger this in the third age, and like and this happened with the dwarves, and this happened with the history as well, and it's just him like building out the history and like how all the lore ties together.
What he wants is something taken from the mind of Tolkien, right? Yeah. Like, and what he doesn't want is for someone to be like, oh, I've seen Lord of the Rings before. Let me tell you my story. Because that's what's happening with Star Wars right now. It's kind of...
So true.
They're doing their own thing. And look, I've never liked Star Wars. I don't understand why Taylor has this thing. I believe that, like... And it's not that something I believe, it's just true. There's two coins to this fun... There's sci-fi and there's fantasy. They're two sides of the same coin, right? And you seem to not give a shit about the sci-fi fan stuff and to love the fantasy stuff. But the way I look at those two things, I don't look at it as two sides of a coin. I almost look at it as like a spectrum of light that wraps around, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you go enough sci-fi, it becomes fantasy, and you can take fantasy enough that it becomes sci-fi. Because if you go deeply enough, then your sci-fi it gets explained by fantasy elements, and your fantasy elements start getting explained by sci-fi elements, and that's when both genres get so much better. When you start seeing what. Yeah,
Kyle's talents are wasted on this show.
I know.
I'm not sure you could work your way to the top in Hollywood. You need to start on top. You're a high level ideas guy. I feel like high level ideas guys typically, wrote scripts and worked their way up. We need to skip that for you.
I try not to have a big head about anything because then you become a real piece of shit and hard to be around. But I have thought about writing something before. Not that I have any idea how to structure it correctly, but I'd like to put down some of the ideas that I've had before because I think occasionally I do.
We're about to get the script for bum fights.
Yeah. So Roscoe comes in, jetpack on his back, eyes glowing red.
There's two naked chicks in the background. More about them later. Like that's the way you write
it. That would be important. Funny. No, I don't know. I know what I want to see, and I know what's going to disappoint me, and I almost always get disappointed by content. That's why I don't know. I bounce around to so many old shows and rewatch stuff so much because I always get upset by the new stuff. I'm rewatching The Expanse right now, even though I know it's going to end up better than I thought. Okay. I really thought the first season was going to suck because I believe Sci-Fi produced that, and then Amazon bought it after season 2 or 3, and production stepped up a lot, and also the language restriction was released, and now we're showing ass crack and like side boob and stuff. We're not R-rated, but we're adult rated. This is like TV 13 or 14 stuff. But then all of a sudden, a fucking railgun bullet comes through the side of a ship and blows a character's head clean the fuck off. His head explodes. Everybody's shell shocked, looking at the blood shooting out of his like neck hole. But we got to get to work because it's being sucked out into the vacuum of space with all of our air. And I was like, oh man, this is a good show. This is like the third episode of the show.
First episode's good too.
They're all good so far. I got to say, I'm eating them like candy. They're 30 minutes long. The first season is. Maybe they get longer toward the end. I don't remember that. But Expanse is a good show. I'm thinking of it, not to interrupt you, but I'm thinking of it as like For All Mankind, season 10. This I'll tell you this. I watched Mandalorian so religiously, and I have like Mandalorian like merch. Like I'm a big fan. Like I've got like tank tops and like I got a helmet in the other room. Like I'm really into it. I dig it. I got one of those fucking what's the little fucking green cocksucker? I got one of them, and I saw Mandalorian coming a mile away. I didn't watch a single episode. Haven't seen it. Haven't even smelled a whiff of the reviews. I don't need to know because I saw pictures of the Mandalorian, and I could beat him to death if you put him in his Mandalore armor and he kicked my fucking door in right now. I'd beat him to death. With whatever that tripod that camera's on right now, I could kill that fucking actor in his full armor with give him that staff or whatever the fuck that chunky elderly get there at 4 p.m. for dinner because it's $7 off.
In some ways, he did kill the mountain. I don't know why.
Dude, that old country buffet coupon bringing bitch.
You're thinking of the Mandalorian. I don't want to fuck. I'm not fucking with the Mandalorian. He's slick with it. That guy's probably actually taking
about the actor, Pedro Pascal.
No, I'm talking about Boba Fett. Boba Fett.
The old guy who's doing action and he's clearly bulging out of the armor, and they have Ming-Na Wen, Fennec Shan.
He's like trying to pose and be cool, like standing straight up doing the single-handed pistol shot. It's a real iconic like pose you can take. For not for Boba Fett, for like action, right? Man standing holding gun. It's very iconic. There's a few ways to do it, and it looks good from various angles. He's trying to do one where shoulders are back, chest is forward. He's like this. The problem is when he does that, he doesn't present his chest and shoulders back like big superhero man. He's got a bulging gut. He's got a plate of armor that is
powerful.
The armor isn't wide enough to cover his love handles. There's a scene there. I saw this. Someone linked me a GIF. Or a GIF if you prefer, where he's getting like accosted, him and like his like Asian assassin friend who was cool. I'd rather watch her show. I bet she's cool in his show. But because I liked her in The Mandalorian, the Asian assassin lady.
Yeah,
they're like getting
she's in a lot of stuff. She's also in the Street Fighter movie. She's who's the legs? Chun-Li in that one.
Okay.
Wait, Kyle, are you going to draw this back to Lord of the Rings, or are you just making a Mandalorian comparison?
Oh, we're shifting gears. No, like I'm just talking about like I can smell a rat coming. I can smell a rat coming, and I'm not going to watch a single episode of Lord of the Rings unless it's like one of those things where everybody's freaking out. It's like taking over pop culture, and it's like everybody's like saying quotes from it. if that happens, I'm like, oh, Kyle was wrong again, and I'll jump on board, right? But I'm just telling you.
If it's
the question is, did y'all watch Boba Fett?
No,
no. Gina Carano was fatter than Boba Fett.
That guy looks like he's 62 years old.
That guy is 62 years old, and Gina Carano in the first season, she got fatter. She was okay. I thought.
Yeah, but it all went to her tits.
Look, I think she's still hot when she's chunky. To be fair, she's looking pretty fucking.
You ever
good.
seen that video of that big white trash fat woman who like smashed a Coors Light can with her big heavy tit?
Yeah. Like
she could do that
or something.
Yeah,
right,
it was on the main show with like
Gina Carano is literally like a model. So like, but look, she got too chunky to be an action star. That's all we're fucking saying around here. And that old man right there. Look, I think it's really cool that they cast him as Boba Fett. I just wish they'd done it 15 fucking years and 35 fucking pounds ago when he maybe could have done it. Because he is not Ewan McGregor, who's still like looking pretty fucking good. This dude looks old. And look, this is his best shot. Notice the helmet is covering a lot of his mass. The helmet is so well positioned. Like, look at that big old belt. Why is that belt 3 inches thick?
That looks a lot like my belt.
The fucking girdle he's wearing.
You can see it in the show when he has it on and he's stretching. You can see the bulges under these armor. You can see the breastplate. Like it'll like instead of just coming down, flat, it'll go down and like angle out a bit.
That's a titty plate. That's not a breastplate. That's a titty plate because that man is overweight and he's too old to play that role. And if they're gonna like, the worst part is even when he's got the helmet on, apparently they're not making him they're not like throwing a stunt double in there or some shit, like because I saw that thing where like some robots were poking him with some like energy spear and he was doing some fucking like kung fu shit, block him or like grab him, do that badass shit, and it looked weak. You ever see somebody work a heavy bag that can like work a heavy bag?
Yeah.
Or anything boxing related, something with your hands, something combat related.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit, that guy is like an athlete. This guy can't do that.
This guy, he doesn't like all the bullets in his bandolier are different.
Yeah, then none of this makes any sense. But you talk about old people and being too old to do action. If you pull the image back up, guess how old the actress next to him is?
Well, Asian people don't fucking crack, dude. She's probably 50.
50?
58.
56. Damn
She's 58.
Oh, no, I was close.
And still doing her own stunts.
Wow. She's looking great. And that's what she looks like in real life. This isn't a show with movie magic and filters and makeup. That's her.
Taylor. Hang on.
No, I guarantee this woman looks exactly that age in real life. I'm fucking around.
All right. Here's the thing, Taylor. I'm very quick to believe that sort of thing out of people, but the problem is she's next to Craggle Rock there. And they've struggled to make Fraggle Rock. No, that's Craggle Rock.
His aggro crag.
The aggro crag.
I'm sure that like if there's like movie fuckery or Photoshop editing that can be done, it was done, and this is the best they could make this man look. Look, he's not a fucking superhero. Come on, I'm not watching.
I don't dislike his face. Like I haven't seen the show, but he does like Boba Fett. If he's getting on, he's aging a bit. Like. He does look like a guy that used to be very intense and used to be very fit, right? Like he's
not really.
Maybe it's the bald brow intensity.
This is the guy who played the character. Or look, it gets convoluted. Maybe because they're clones, and one of the clones treated a clone of his as his son. So just fuck all that convoluted nonsense aside. This guy was the character in the trilogy in the early 2000s. Like he was in that trilogy.
This is the guy that confused me because like they used him as clone material, and then like there's like white, black, Asian.
I don't think
troopers in the future, and it's like, but it was all gathered from this guy.
Okay, look, we're going
to recruit people later because the clones started dying.
After a while, the clones were degrading in quality. And the source material was, and I think maybe the clone place got destroyed or something. There was a whole anyway. They had to start recruiting. There was also some political stuff going back and forth. Like one side is like clones are what we need, and the other side is like my special troop. Doesn't matter. It's nerdy shit. But later on, they're recruited. That's why you got like black stormtroopers and stuff.
Is there anything in the Mandalorian? I think it's from episode 1. Those like cool robots they made to kill Jedi that I don't think ever succeeded in killing the Jedi, that have shields and they roll like a sand shrew from Pokemon.
So not like sand shrew style, but like,
and they go with the.
Did you not watch the Mandalorian?
No. I watched up until Bill Burr was on the scene, and then I stopped.
Well, there's that Killbot thing, right? The one who's like a main character almost, who's got the Benny
played by
head.
Taika.
Yeah.
Actually.
I was meaning like that
it?
more.
Oh,
that
that's
more
cool.
like arachnid looking thing with the curved back, almost looks like a serpent.
No, that's some George Lucas shit that needs to stay away. That
I thought that was cool. But also, the last time I saw those movies, I remember my main takeaway was that General Grievous was the coolest thing ever.
Yes,
because I was
for
like
one whole
12,
episode,
13 when I saw that. Yeah, and I was like, I remember watching, being like, man, that's going to be a damn shame if Yoda takes this guy out, because he's a robot. He's got 4 lightsabers. They're not even the bullshit like 1/2 ones that seem like they'd be counterintuitive. He's got 4 programmed,
like helicopter blades just going to town.
There was no excuse for him to lose to Yoda. He would buttfuck Yoda, unless Yoda used the Force, which General Grievous probably couldn't, because you probably need to be alive to use the Force.
No, he was alive.
Yeah, he was a cyborg. He was not a full robot.
Yoda considered
he had a human, like,
second most
or
powerful,
alien,
the best swordsman.
I don't know, but Yoda was.
You're as wise as Master Yoda and as powerful as Master Mace Windu. Bad acting
I like
ruining the trilogy and legacy.
Who was Mace Windu? Count Dooku. That's who it was.
Mace
Not Mace
that
Windu.
was
Christopher Lee was
Lee.
Count Dooku,
Yep.
and he was my favorite character. Like, as far as just the intimidating presence of his nature, like he was so booming on there.
The dark side.
Yeah, he was so he played Saruman to a T. He played bad guys for like 65 years
I bet he did a Dracula here and there.
Yes.
Right?
No, he was in the old Hammer Dracula films in the 70s. He would play both Van Helsing and Dracula in different films.
Cool.
Like real cheap ones.
I've come to realize that I think Obi-Wan Kenobi is the best character in all of Star Wars. I think he's got the coolest story. Everybody else is a fucking, like, their story is either like, I don't know, it's poorly written, or just like, I don't like how.
For those of us who don't know, what is Obi-Wan's story?
Obi-Wan, his master's killed at the very beginning, right? And he's this responsibility.
Yes, Liam Neeson.
To train the boy is like thrust upon him, like all this responsibility. He just has become like a master or whatever. And now immediately,
I'm sorry, I've pissed my pants and I can't keep training you. Have to leave.
The drink has ruined my Jedi skills.
He also drinks a lot, apparently. Like you see him in the Clone Wars and stuff, always like drinking alcohol and stuff.
So the coolest part about him, right, is this like love story that he's got with that queen from that other planet. Her name escapes me, but he's got like this. The Jedi are supposed to be like warrior monks, so he's not supposed to be falling in love with this lady. I think he could probably fuck her. I think that would be okay. But he loves this woman, and she loves him. And like, spoiler, like, that does not work out because his greatest enemy kills her in front of him, the same guy that killed his master, and he has to watch her die. And her dying words are like, I always loved you. And he's like, I would have given up the Jedi Order to be with you. And they just cry, and she
Does this
fucking
happen in
dies.
the movies? Or
No, this is
Clone
Clone Wars. And then, like, you know,
So
the
it
whole,
does happen in the movie. Oh no, this happens in the cartoon.
cartoon.
But the TV series is canonical, so
it's canonical,
it happens.
So it happens. So and then
Yes,
like,
it's real.
yeah, it's as real as any of the rest of the of Star Wars, right? But I'm just saying his story is the best. And then obviously, like, losing Anakin, defeating Anakin, whisking Luke away to Tatooine, being overwatching him like his entire like childhood and into adulthood, and then guiding him into the Force, and then like giving his life for him. Then coming back as a Force ghost to continue to guide him. Like, he's got the best story out of any of them. Luke's story's fucking lame. Anakin's story is even lamer. And
What about
the
emo.
Yoda was around for thousands of years.
Yoda's a fucking quitter.
Maybe
Yoda's a fucking quitter, is what Yoda is.
Go on.
I mean, he lost that one fight with the
He's also
Emperor.
short.
He lost that one fight with the Emperor, and then he like retired to that swamp planet for like 25 fucking years.
That
Jedi's
is
do
really
Luke
really
did
embarrassing.
that. Yoda did that. Probably someone else.
Well, Luke went because he needed some training, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, of course, they all do
Luke
it.
did it.
They have to copy and paste the same story and over and over. So of course, Rey had to go to like a planet and train with Luke Skywalker. Fuck all that shit. Fuck all that made up dragon shit. I am going to watch the Ewan McGregor thing though. Fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi show when that comes out. It's a mini series, like it's contained like 8 episodes or something.
Dude, it's so funny how I can sit here and like you're talking about Star Wars and I'm like, this is so stupid. I can't believe it. And meanwhile, I'm like, and they're not following the canon of Lord of the Rings, and they didn't buy the rights to the Silmarillion, which means all of our beloved characters from the first age and the second age are going to be there.
No one knows the Silmarillion characters.
Taylor,
they do. There are people that read that like the Bible, man.
It is the ramblings of a madman. I've said it before. It's a guy. There is no flow. After I finished the Hobbit series, and I read the Lord of the Rings series first, and then the Hobbit series, and I was in middle school because that's when the movies were coming out. And then I was like, oh, Silmarillion. This guy wrote more shit. I wonder what characters we're going to flesh out. And it is just him being like, and another thing in the first stage. Here's something Elendil was up to. Oh, also, God, I forgot the dwarves at the time. The dwarves, they found out Mithril, but not quite modern Mithril, a slightly different Mithril. And this was the mix. Oh, by the way, the elves also, something I can't wait. It's like a guy on coke telling you a business idea.
I think Marvel's on the slide down. I mean, clearly we're on the backside of like, I don't know, like the story.
God, I fucking hate superhero movies so much. Can we?
I don't like them either.
You're already there. Good.
Yeah,
I'm so glad it's ending.
I was one of the bigger superhero movie advocates. Like I was the freaking whatever child who with lack of taste. He was like, I really like it when Captain America picked up the hammer.
I like that
too. You guys are missing the magic in that. But
really good.
It was really good.
For a minute, it didn't seem like they were going to pull it out.
really thought the whole world was going to
guys were going to win in the end.
They all died in the first one.
Yeah, the bad guys won in the first one. So anyway, I really, really liked it. But even I, one of the bigger whatever semen swallowers for Marvel, am just like a little over it.
Good. I use you as a weather vane of that, and so for you to be saying I'm over this, I'm like the tides. The times they are a changing. Like
Ant-Man
that's what's
just
coming.
is like a colossal disappointment.
That's what I'm saying. The second that we started making, not the second, but like recognizing we're making superhero movies with Paul Rudd as like, I mean, I don't know how good of an actor for Ant-Man he was, but like
I've disliked them all.
It's just like what, like guys. You like there's no way Ant-Man as an IP was so popular you decided to make a multi-million-dollar movie on it. There's just no fucking way.
I can't put my finger on why like Ant-Man, that is a terrible concept. Spider-Man, one of the best ever, but Ant-Man's so stupid. But
makes sense. Spiders are scary.
Yeah. He slings webs and flies around. Ant-Man gets small. He
also gets big.
Oh, sorry.
Which doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I think he might maintain the same amount of mass. He just becomes hyper dense when he gets small. But that can't be true because then when he got big, he'd be like hollow,
just
like
blow away.
Yeah. Somebody would punch through him.
Do you remember in the first Avengers movie, I forget what it was called, when the Incredible Hulk one punches that, I think it's called a Leviathan, that big tube flying thing. And we were all like, oh my God.
Sure.
Incredible Hulk is a match for that thing. Oh my God. Well, we got one guy who could deal with these things. Everyone else, it's a team effort to take one down. You can forget that Ant-Man one punched a Leviathan too. Like he's Incredible Hulk's peer in this regard. He's a badass superhero, but I don't care about him. And for some reason, I don't give him the credit that he deserves.
Because he's not real. He doesn't deserve any credit because he's a fucking fake thing. You know, he doesn't need any.
In that regard, they're all peers.
In that regard, they are all. The problem they are pretending.
It's really just LARPing at this point. Honestly, it's quite sad.
They're professional pretend players.
I watched the first two Ant-Man movies, both on flights. I think otherwise I wouldn't have caught them. I wouldn't have watched them. And man, they're just shit. I don't care. Like all the old people that are in them, like fucking Martin Sheen is in there, and Kim Basinger I think is in there, and his girlfriend or whatever, who's like the hot elf from The Hobbit that they like worked in there. I think that's Ant-Man's girlfriend. She's the Wasp, and she like flutters about and stuff with him, and he rides.
There's three bug-related heroes.
His girlfriend is the Wasp. Guess what his nemesis is in the second one? I think it's the
Leech.
Second one.
Yellow Jacket.
Try one more time. Come on, try to.
She's
we got the Wasp, the Ant. We got Ant-Man, the Wasp, and who do you think the villain was?
The Scorpion.
What's
Yellow
a bad
Jacket.
one? The Scorpion. The
Roach.
Jacket.
It was the fucking Yellow Jacket.
The water
roach. The roach cannot be killed.
Whenever you step on it, it smells terrible.
I'm honestly done with those movies. I've stopped watching the Marvel TV shows. I don't care. If they do something with the original Avenger cast again, anything that they stick, I watch any Guardians of the Galaxy stuff because I like what they got going on there. but I'm not going to watch any more of those side characters. I don't care about any of that shit. I'm done with it.
How are you for recasting a bunch of the characters?
You'd have to cast someone that I in particular liked. I'm not going to go in there and be like, well, let's see if this person I've never heard of can do it. I'm not going to deal with that either. I'm not going to go watch that or buy that or watch it for free.
Zach said the new movie kills the rest of the originals from what they have said. Does he mean he kills the characters or the movie
timeline? He's probably fucking up the timeline in the new movie and messing with the canon in some way because he goes down to like the subatomic. Look, we're not going to go into the nitty gritty of how Ant-Man works, but
please do.
Fuck you.
No, dude, that's just a chance for me to. You keep going till something's retarded, and I'll joke about it. You know, I don't
Taylor, you remember that Tennessee cop, Megan Hill?
He gets into the quantum realm, and then that starts impacting time for reasons I don't understand. And
time dilation.
That's one of Ant-Man's superpowers.
Wow. So he's kind of like a deity and he should really be killed because that's way too much power to have.
Ant-Man is the only reason that they won in the second movie, and we're not going to talk about the shit anymore. The answer to the question is yes, I'm burnt out on Marvel and I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm back on Star Trek. I'm back on to Star Trek full time.
You know what I'm getting burnt out fast? Westerns. I asked for Westerns for a decade. Yellowstone came and just got so fucking stupid. It is a
glad I didn't start it then.
Soap opera for dumb people that I'm somewhat addicted to, and everything is lame. The characters are all super thin. I don't even know half of their names. In this house, the one who's dating Tater is just known as Token because I don't know his real name. Yeah. Kyle, do you know Token's real name?
Token what? What are we talking about?
He's in the bunkhouse from Yellowstone. He's dating Tater. He's the black
guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
See? He's
Black
Token.
Carl.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know the character's names. Everything's so super thin. It's the same thing. There's a wealthy person trying to buy my land for 6 years in a row now. There's no plot to it. Taylor Sheridan seems to think he's terrific and his show is popular, so I can get why he thinks that. But it's a love to hate thing. Yellowstone is Star Wars in that everyone's excited to see it. It dominates sort of TV. Everyone's interested in it, yet everyone's upset how bad it sucks. Yellowstone is Star Wars for Westerns.
They're just foaming at the mouth about the Kathleen Kennedy stuff and the Panderverse stuff with South Park. And they're all these quotes from the Disney executives that they knew that it was coming, but they had no idea it was going to be like this. And people are very upset. It's really fun.
I'm missing some MCU background. So South Park is doing Panderverse. They're making fun of the left, I assume.
They're making fun of Kathleen Kennedy specifically and Disney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know who Kathleen Kennedy is. She's a Disney executive.
She runs the Star Wars movies. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's and well, she runs Disney. I think she's the one. What Eric says is, she's the one who's put a chick in it, make it lame and gay. Right. Every time a new project comes, put a chick in it, make it lame and gay. Put a chick in it, make it lame and gay. That's what she keeps saying over and over. So apparently they're very upset about that. But of course, all of the YouTube is loving it. They're calling it the MCU. The Marvels just came out, and apparently that had like a $45 million opening weekend, which is like the worst.
Yeah, the critics say it's terrible, and the box office is terrible. I haven't heard what people are saying, but I guess terrible. It's
going to be hard to get a real review because the people who will go to the Marvels, which is like a girl power, we got a brown girl, a black girl, and a white girl superheroes, and I've seen some clips of it that look very silly and like they're not taking things very seriously, which is, where I get diverted away from. I don't care if they got a pussy or not.
You don't like She-Hulk dancing?
I didn't watch a second of that. I thought they made Meg the Stallion. Look, that was Meg the Stallion that she was dancing with. I didn't know who she was before I saw her dancing with the She-Hulk, and she looked like one of those black chicks who's a little too heavy in that clip. And then I looked up what Meg the Stallion looks like, and she is incredible. I'm a Meg the Stallion fan. Wait, I don't give a fuck about She-Hulk. That shit's stupid. But Meg the Stallion, I'm a big fan of hers.
She-Hulk does sound stupid. Does she even do anything other than regular Hulk? They've already got a regular Hulk.
She's an attorney, Taylor. She's She-Hulk at law.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that. Yeah, that's what you need. You need an attorney when Stark is on your team.
It was roasted. People said it was terrible. I didn't see it. There's the dancing.
Like,
dude, this
like
is if you put me in charge of the MCU, I don't think I could do worse as a director.
Oh, you do better.
No, I mean, like, because I would be trying to make it insufferable to destroy the trend. And I think if I saw this, I'd be like, I need to quit because my bad ideas are too good. It wouldn't have crossed my mind to be like, have She-Hulk twerk. What's she supposed to be, like 6'10", green? Not even as strong as regular Hulk.
No, she threw regular Hulk around right away. They had to establish dominance.
Oh wait, are you sure about that? Because I
don't know. I saw a clip of her like somebody, he got hit by a car. Maybe she hit him with a car. I didn't watch the show. What I was getting at from the beginning is like, I haven't watched any of the most recent batch of Disney stuff or animated stuff. What I am watching, and it's wonderful, of course, is Invincible. I've seen the first 2 episodes of the season. I was really worried that they weren't going to keep the animation quality up to like a decent level because they're hour-long episodes. Which
no change as far as I can tell.
I've seen little bit, the fans point out on their subreddit, like little things here and there, but it's nitpicky shit. It's not stuff that you would notice in the grand scheme of things. I hate that they're doing a multiverse thing, but that's taken right from their comics. So be it. I'm just tired of multiverse shit. Everybody's got a fucking multiverse. I'm tired of it.
Well, they got to get Iron Man back in the mix.
This is Invincible.
Oh,
so
it's a different universe. It has
been connected to the Marvel universe in the past.
What?
We're not going to touch on that.
That's what I meant.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No.
Taylor was referring to a little-known piece of minutia where we once saw the same ping pong ball that was in Iron Man.
Yeah, your lack of knowledge is upsetting.
I'm looking forward to Mark dumping the black chick and starting to date the pink superhero girl. Yeah, like why would you mess around? That black chick is such a fucking downer. All right.
Oh, yeah?
Mark will go like save Mount Rushmore or some shit from the Dr. Seismic, and she'll be like, "We're supposed to be studying. I can't be your girlfriend if you're gonna be like running off at the drop of the hat and like fighting Dr. Seismic. Like, you've got to make time for me, Mark. It's about priorities."
Am I crazy? Because she did that in season 1. Season 2, she's been nothing but supportive.
What's she still around for? What? Oh, she's even when he like flew her to Las Vegas, she's still got that sort of like, I guess that's what it's like dating a superhero. She should be like, go get him, honey. Win for humanity. She should know that if he fails, we all die most of the time. Like why are you? The idea that you would prioritize your personal relationship or some little vacation or some trip that had been promised to you or a fucking night out on the town or a dinner date or whatever the fuck, that trivial nonsense would even pop into my head if my girlfriend was Captain America and she needed to go fight Captain Cyclops for all of our freedom. I'd be like, good God, who cares about dinner, honey? I'll have it cooked when you get home. Just beat Captain Cyclops. I hate that black chick. I can't wait. She's going to die. Mark my words. Mark my words. She dies.
Wouldn't bet against her dying.
She's going to die, and Mark's going to go Super Saiyan and like
a lovely, like that thing where you said that. So he covered her eyes and he flew her somewhere, and then she finds herself on the top of the Eiffel Tower, and she's like, "Did you take me to France?" And he's like, "No, not exactly." He took her to Vegas on the mini Eiffel Tower. He's like, "If I flew you that fast, your skin would fall off." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, this is better." and then like 90 seconds into their date, he has to leave. And she's like, yeah, it's okay. That's what it's like to do a superhero. So I don't remember it like Kyle, but I might be wrong.
So the premise of this season is that in almost every other universe, Mark sided with his father and the Viltrumites, and with his father conquered the earth for the Viltrumites. And very, very rarely do you have that good Mark who says no and not only disobeys his father, but doesn't really defeat him, but drives him off the planet nonetheless through, like heartache or whatever, sentimentalism and love. But so that's the premise of this season. And you've got this one guy who's fucked up the multiverse, and now he's decided he's going to kill Mark. And the thing he did at the end of last episode is really neat. He went to a universe where they had evil Mark, but they beat him. He goes to the universe where and he finds Mark in this giant machine. He's got huge arms that hold each of his limbs you know, like, so he can't move. And he's like, how did they beat you? And Mark's like, they ambushed Dad with some sort of experimental quantum bombs, took out most of Europe. Me, they just wore me down. Had to sleep eventually, and there were too many of them. And he's like, interesting. Good to know. And he like makes his porter and leaves. Because, you know, he's trying to get he wants to kill more Marks. He wants to kill the other good Mark that
he should just live there. His dream was already seen.
He's got bigger dreams. He's got bigger dreams. It wasn't just to kill Mark.
So you see the multiverse thing as kind of we need a nice little out.
I just don't it can be used and misused. Marvel is going to use it to bring back a bunch of white guys so that their stock price will come back up. Mark my words. Iron Man, they've already agreed. Like they're going to bring Robert Downey Jr. back. He was on the Rogan show, and Rogan's like, "You ever going to go back and like do another one?" He's like, "I'm dead. I'm dead." No, they must have backed the dump truck up with fucking money for Robert Downey Jr. if he's coming back. So they're going to have to use the multiverse. It's a fucking. And it can be the point of the show. It can be all about like Sliders, for example. Great multiverse show. Every episode we go to a new universe. Rick and Morty is a fun multiverse show. But Marvel, I think, is just going to use it as a crutch so that no one ever dies, so that nothing ever matters. And I hate that because I like actions having consequences. I like when Iron Man gave his life at the end of that movie to save everyone. That was a big deal. They don't really like go into it, but he's burnt. He's all crispy in that suit, right? It's like melted to his flesh, and he's being roasted alive while he's like, "Hey, nice to know you guys. Not in a lot of pain right now, so don't feel bad for him." It's like he's roasted. He's all
I thought he just like they poofed away into like geometric shapes.
Yeah, and putting all that power through that glove because he's just a human man. Burnt him inside
Taylor's
out like a microwave.
The snap where everyone turned into dust.
Yeah.
But Iron Man did not turn into dust. Only half the people did, and he was in the lucky half. Iron Man died by snapping everything back to right. But apparently that takes a lot out of the snapper. So unless you're the Incredible Hulk or Thanos, you're dead.
Yeah,
we've already established it. He could have just snapped and doubled the number of planets, doubled the amount of
Thanos
space.
could have done anything.
Right.
Well, and we've also already talked about that the reason that they went through that storyline is it's not what happens in the comics. In the comics, he doesn't snap to make extra food because he doesn't give a fuck about like the balance. He's trying to impress the female incarnation of death itself. He's trying to look at this. Boom. Half of creation is yours now. Like, you want to suck some dick now? Like, that's literally, he's after some pussy and he's trying to blow this chick's mind.
What a loser.
Half of existence. I mean, you know, everybody's got their reasons.
And then does death kill him?
I don't know.
I hope he gets his dick sucked. I hope it works out.
Yeah, I hope she sucks his
went
life.
through a lot
She's
of
really hot though. Like,
gives him the best head ever and just sucks his soul out, and then he shrivels up.
It's probably like Mistress Death or something like that. She looks
Taylor,
like,
you would do better than the MCU.
Yeah, it's just Thanos going, and then he dissipates around.
It was worth it. When Carl died, and then when I heard that Rick was far. Like off the show, I just didn't want to continue with that show anymore. I haven't.
Rick and Michonne.
Yeah, I was a religious viewer of that show. I would go to viewing parties at bars and stuff. Like my girlfriend and her friends were obsessed with it. Like, I'm a little bit of an expert about the like first couple seasons and the production and Frank Darabont's input and like the actors and why some people were like, kill me off if you're gonna like do this and that. Like, but then that show just really turned into this weird soap opera where they were trying to make so many episodes. I often complain now because modern TV is these 6 episodes, 9 episodes, 10 episodes, which can be perfect if you're telling a short story. Yeah. But if you're telling a big thing, then like, come on, it was TV. Expand. That's what we do here.
They took on the BBC concept because that's how BBC does their episodes. Is the short seasons, right? That's what the Americans did.
They do like series.
It's like Luther was like 6 episodes a season and stuff.
I haven't watched Luther yet. I know the movies. I'm gonna pick that.
Watch the TV series.
I love Idris Elba. I love Idris Elba. I've seen him like speak publicly. I like his attitude. I've enjoyed him in everything. Go back to fucking The Office when he shows up in The Office. Is that weird character? I like him a lot. I loved him in the Christopher Nolan movie recently. Yeah, he was Batman.
Christopher Nolan. I pulled from the.
I'm talking about Prometheus.
Slipping that hat. I didn't know he made that one.
No,
the Aliens movie.
Tenet, T-E-N-E-T.
Oh, Tenet. That wasn't him.
That's not
him.
Idris Elba? No, it's not. That's Denzel's son.
Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah, you're right.
Who should be the next Black Panther?
Oh, I don't like the Black Panther.
The next Black Panther? Why don't they just made
T'Challa.
like 2 movies, right?
No, the last one was shite.
Oh, I was just being like, I thought usually they had a little more of a shelf life than 2 films before they swap people out.
No,
well, the actor died in RL.
Yeah.
Oh, Chadwick Boseman,
Black Panther.
Died. Yeah, he died.
He played
he had cancer.
Black. Okay, yeah. Well then
and he was beautiful. I cried at the end of that movie because I was so proud. I know.
So proud of Black Panther.
Oh yeah, because it's the first like legit. Other than Blade, it was the first like legit superhero black guy movie that I got to experience in my life, and I cried at the end of it. One of my friends is his name is Ken Lashley. He draws for DC and Marvel, and it's like you'll see his name in the credits. Like we're huge Black Panther fans. I could get into it for hours, but the whole not recasting thing was bullshit.
You don't
Have
get
you
down
seen
with
What If on Disney Plus?
Yes.
All right. I was gonna recommend the one where Black Panther was. What's this?
Well, he became
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord.
Yeah. I like that episode a lot. I thought you might like it. Maybe not.
Yeah, I loved it. Chadwick was amazing, but them not recasting was a stupid thing. And I get the respect they had, but
I think I'm just done with Marvel. I think I'm kind of checked out because like they've lost all the big name actors that had gravitas and could actually make a movie that you wanted to see. And I feel like at this point, most Marvel people are only watching because they don't want to lose their place in the book. It's like the teacher's reading at the front of the class, pay attention or you won't know where the story is when you go to watch the next Thor movie.
They lost me when they made Thor a joke.
Oh, that was disgusting. I
read Thor comics forever. Like he's the reason why I love Shakespeare.
I see.
And he's a hardcore guy in the comics. Now he's a friggin' comic joke, like a comedic joke.
I loved Thor Ragnarok. I thought it was great, and it had a little comedy in it. And it was
comedy was okay.
A little comedy was great. I thought I really, really liked it. And then they did what was the last Thor called?
Love and
crap. and anyway, they were like, "Oh, do people think jokes are good? Oh, we got jokes." And the whole movie just got ruined.
It's that Tiki guy who directed it, right?
Yeah, Waikiki or whatever.
He made it into a complete joke, and I was completely upset. And you got Zeus, and he looks like a clown, and he's got the female Thor, which is
they're all over the place.
A little salt is good in your food. A lot of salt.
Oh, what do you think about that fucking chariot of goats that scream?
The screaming goats was kind of funny. That was kind of funny.
That's the worst part. You know that every test audience laughed at it, but it was a dirty laugh. I didn't want to laugh at that. It's like I don't want. Did I unplug my mic?
No, I hear you. You're good. We hear you.
Like I don't want that in this movie. Like that should be some outtake at the end, some additional scene, some bonus footage or some shit.
It should be.
It was a complete waste of Christian Bale's talent.
Oh, big time. He's
need to be in that movie.
He's a top tier A-list actor. He's one of the top. He's one of the best leading men, and you've got him here to play a villain. Yeah. And you even gave him kind of like some good motivation,
some
stuff,
wicked powers he had.
But it just didn't work out. I didn't care. It was a joke of a movie. I don't think I finished it. I think I turned it off at the end. Like something toward the end got. I didn't see the final showdown. Like I turned it off before that. Natalie Portman was like annoying me or something, and there was this big CGI fight with monsters where they were stealing children. And around then, I just turned that shit off. And no, I think I'm done with Marvel in general. And DC doesn't look like it's on. I know James Gunn is like leading. Gunn. He's rebooting the DC universe again.
Stupid move. Like, what's wrong with these people? First, they screw up friggin' Black Adam, and then now they're going to stop and redo everything. I'm not watching any more origin stories.
I'm not a
done.
I'm not a rock hater, but he was the wrong guy for Black Adam. If Black Adam is a silent, angry guy that scowls all the time, and then they take the most charismatic, smiling actor I can think of in Dwayne Johnson and cast him there, it doesn't fit.
He can act. If you give him a good script, he can do it.
He didn't do it.
Give him these action. What was him? He had a movie
know.
where his son was like in trouble with drug dealers and stuff. He had to transport stuff in a truck. Like he can act if you give him the chance, but they gave him a garbage action.
I just know him from like Jumanji and stuff. That's
I need him to
that's
smile.
The Dwayne
He's
Johnson
best.
I know.
I've
He's
never
best
seen
when
him
he's-
not playing The Rock.
Yeah.
in the movie. I was
He
talking
plays The
about,
Rock in lots of different costumes, but he's always playing The Rock.
He needs
Yeah,
to keep
that's true.
smiling and being charming.
Yeah.
Like Woody's so right. Like I like him a lot. He's such a likable guy.
Agreed.
But
I like him a lot.
So don't make him the heel. Like
I liked him in Ballers. Have you seen that? The TV show. Ballers,
I'm aware of it.
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
Very good show. But
Yeah.
and that's where Denzel Washington's son got discovered on that show. But
He's
yeah,
really
The Rock
good.
is always playing The Rock. I totally agree with that.
Did you guys see the Chris Rock special yet?
Yeah.
I did
All right.
not.
I watched.
I avoided it.
So here's what I
No,
did
it's
actually,
stingy.
Woody. I saw the clips where he talks about Will Smith, went for the jugular, cut his fucking head off, like no mercy, no fucking salt the fields. He went full bore.
You're allowed to
I'm
get
u-
revenge.
I'm usually pretty good at doing that George Costanza thing, where if I get to sit in my living room, I can come up with some awful shit.
Yeah.
to say. I was at a loss. I was like, "You got it all, bro. You hit it."
A
From
year
top to
later.
bottom." The only thing he didn't do was go after the man's children, and that's where he stopped. He stopped just
Yeah.
short of hitting his kids. And but I mean, he did
Well, that's
reference
good.
the kid like for the he was like, "Yeah, you fucking your son's friends." Your son's friend is fucking your wife or whatever. He's like going hard in the paint. So after seeing those shorts on YouTube, the 3 or 4 minutes that takes up in this special, I was like, shit, where is this special? It's on Netflix. So I clicked it. Man, I got like 8 minutes in, and
Yeah.
it's
Shitty.
something about like he's still doing that. You know how Chris Rock sounds.
Yeah.
I want to
Like,
stop you there
Mhm.
because that was my point. I like the show 7 out of 10. Chris Rock jokes are fat, so fucking fat. There is nothing but fat on that steak. Like a Chris Rock, it sounds like this. I'll be like, moms always be pushing strollers. Man, mom's pushing strollers. I just see stroller pushing moms pushing strollers all the time. Moms be pushing strollers, moms. And I'm like, oh, fuck, he says the same.
He's in love with the sound of his own voice.
And it's like, good gosh, like this guy had 6 jokes that he stretched out for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Because every one
I
of
knew he
them
was
is
gonna
the
be that.
fattest
He's
joke
just-
you've ever heard a
He's
comedian
just
told.
talking so much.
Yeah.
There's so much going on and not much
Bad
being said.
timing.
He said he's speaking a lot and saying very little, and he's just really leaning into that classic Chris Rock like sort of delivery that I loved in his specials a decade or two ago. But now it's like, oh man, you're still doing the exact same thing. Like even Adam Sandler ain't out there singing Hanukkah songs. I think I
Loki
saw
comes
this
out
on
June
like,
9th.
what does?
Loki?
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I know someone who's a stunt double in that movie. Yeah,
Do you?
yeah.
Do you know whose
Um,
stunt double he is?
I don't know exactly. Actually, I do know exactly. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I just don't want to say here. But yeah, it's. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be the best of the Marvel TV shows. They've been getting better as we've went. Because I wasn't crazy about the WandaVision. I really liked the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think it got better as it went on. Even though those are
I
two
agree.
of the weaker characters. I think once they got more into like the wider universe at play and got away from the Flag Smashers, which is the stupidest name for like a group of people. We're the Flag Smashers. Like, all right, who came up with the name? Me. This is the stupidest fucking name ever.
The
Like,
Flag Smashers?
Yeah, I
Flag
think
Smashers.
the premise was during the 5 years that Thanos had removed half the population, kind of all the countries ended and they got unified and just, whatever. And then when the people came back, they're like, oh, okay, let's just do it like we did 5 years ago. And
Yeah.
there's a group of people who felt like the United Way was better. So
Yeah, well, they had this situation where, like, obviously, like, in like Eastern Europe, for example, like you lose half the population of the United States. There's probably enough people to like fill a lot of those working jobs, like who will come in and like do them. But over there, it's like the Estonia is just fucked. Like there's not enough people to work the factories and stuff. So you had all these people who would be later deemed as refugees who came in to work those jobs. But when the old workers come back, Now they want their jobs back. So these people who have come into the country quasi legally, it's like, get out of here. We don't need you anymore. And it caused a lot of issues that you don't want to see in a Marvel movie because you just want to see superheroes fighting each other. I don't know.
I think the world
they're trying to
disagrees
make a
with us.
statement.
I think WandaVision was more popular than Captain America, but
Yeah, I think it's because women make up such 50% of the viewing audience, and a lot of chicks like those shows. I was talking to a girl the other day, and she was like, "Yeah, I like Handmaiden's Tale and The Flash," and she's like, "and Law and Order SVU," and she like named like 5 chick shows, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't watch any of that shit. Those shows are made for women."
Wait until September comes when all the new shows are coming out of LA. It's most of it's going to be gender driven for females, and
You think so?
I get the breakdowns every day, so I see what's being cast out there, and I know what roles I'm being put up for. And trends are obvious when you look for them.
Yeah.
So there's going to be most of the content is, you look at the political climate is swinging. Hollywood, I believe, dictates culture. I believe that that's why people who love and hate Hollywood at the same time, because it kind of dictates, commercials dictate what we buy. So, and a lot of the programming comes out really informs, the nation.
They set the political climate.
It
They
informs
set
your
the mood.
perception.
Yeah, I get that for sure, and I see that. It's like I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Like I have been since I was 5 years old. Like I can remember being 5 years old and watching the original Star Trek with my dad, like sitting on the living room floor, and like that carried on throughout my entire life. Like even now, I go back and watch The Next Generation and all the movies and stuff. But like this new Star Trek it's like I don't think there's a straight white man in the show. I don't think that's allowed anymore. I really don't think so. And it's like,
Or if he is, he'll be the bad guy.
I think if somebody heard me say that, they would think that's an ignorant thing for me to say. But it's like, why can't I be represented in a show? Like isn't that what everyone's always saying? Like I want someone who represents me in the show. It's like, okay, I get that 100%, but like, why can't I have somebody who represents me in the show too? Like I'm not saying Jean-Luc Picard represents me, this like 50-year-old intellectual, but still, at least he's like he's a straight white dude. He's like, and he doesn't have to be the captain. The captain doesn't have to be a straight white dude. But why can't the guy who fly the ship be one? Or why can't the transporter guy be one? Everybody is either trans or gay or like I don't know.
This is Star Trek you're talking about?
Yeah.
What's it called? I'm trying to find
It's called Star Trek. The new one, Discovery.
Yeah.
Star Trek Discovery. Like all the characters are I'm unaware of any straight white men who are not who are main characters who aren't villains.